Hey everybody, it is November 10th, the day before Veterans Day. Hey, and I want to thank you all for watching. It I wanted to come on here to get a variety of topics, if you will, kind of off my mind. Some topics that have been brewing and all that. So yeah, thank you Wild Hops for the compliment. Do appreciate that. I do apologize a little bit for the bad lag and stream. As a lot of you know, basically a lot of us that you know don't have the equipment or don't know how to really utilize the new options that the YT has greatly given us. I know you're thinking you sound sarcastic there. There's a reason. I'll get into that as one of the topics, but has given us. Not a lot of us know how to utilize those just yet. I mean, we're getting told to get a Wirecast. Some are saying to do this and that. I think eventually things are going to restore themselves back to normal. I don't know why. And if not, then if I do any live streams in the future via my computer, that might be courtesy of my twitch.tv account. So we'll just have to wait on that. So I was just checking something on here on my computer, making sure um, things were working properly as we speak. But anyway, let's talk about a variety of topics here. There's a lot going on as far as the uploading video services like the YT, the DM, the V's, if you will. A lot of these services out there, but there's a lot going on as well. Otherwise, first of all, I want to say this before I get into my topics. I do have one more season finale for my CAW league, and that is my DCWA Thunder. And that, unlike the Women of Honor, has a 7 match length. So there are going to be it will be a champions match, champions night, I should say, and any championship I can fit on there, any 7 titles I can fit on there that I feel are going to be worth the 7 matches. Promos withstanding, because for some odd reason, they like to throw in promos. But the 6 to 7 matches withstanding will be championship matches, ones that I feel are worthy of a season finale. Now, with that said, let's talk about some topics going on right now across the board. All right? Let's talk about a variety of topics. And hold on for a second. I'll go check. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. I was just checking on my dog there, wondering what she was doing. But anyway, let's talk about a variety of topics. First of all, let's talk about the one thing that's kind of been on people's minds over the past 24 something hours. and that is this thing called hashtag COPPA. Now, this is something that's not really new, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that's been discussed over the past month or few months. And a lot of people are worried about it, and I don't blame them. I don't really blame them for being worried because you never know with recent things, with recent, I should say, acts and proposals and stuff that have come out from the SOPAs to the PIPAs, you name it. People, they don't know what to believe anymore. They don't know what to believe. Even though several people, even a guy that used to work for Microsoft, and even people like Rowdy C, Chris Lee Moore, or Chris Moore, and a few others have come out and said, look, you're making this a bigger deal than what it is. Long story short, the YT and various other services, the YT and various other services out there have a new policy or working on a new policy that would give them justification to eliminate certain channels. Now, some might say that's not right. Now, basically, you're putting all of YouTube and Daily Motion and Vimo and VO and Metacafe and Beta Cafe or whatever you want, or BitChew, as they call it, or whatever else. You're putting it all in danger. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, folks. Not necessarily. You see, if some people have pointed out that over the weekend, over this weekend, it has been noted that an article has shown up, but it seems that this article looks like it's stitched together, like it doesn't make sense, like something just doesn't seem right. And I can honestly see where they're coming from with that. Like something feels off. It's like they're only focusing on a certain part of this article, on this documentation, whatever you want to call it, stating what potentially could be. Now, let me be honest with you. Let me tell you this right now. I've not been a fan of a lot of the changes all these streaming video uploading sites have gone through. I'm not a big fan of them. Just like everybody else, I'm not a big fan. But I understand that sometimes some of the changes they make are for our own protection and for that streaming service and uploading sites' own protection as well, and sanity. You cannot deny me that, or you cannot deny that, I should say. I mean, how many times? I mean, come on, be honest. How many times has YouTube, Daily Motion, Vimo, VO, BitChute, whatever you use, Twitch, whatever you use, how many times have they gotten complaints? It's every day, almost every day. Let's not lie about that. Every day, just about. How many times have they gotten complaints from various users? Whether they make money or they don't, but from the various users that make videos and upload videos and do live streams on their channels or on their sites. How many times a day do you think they get complaints about those people being trolled and bullied? A lot, right? Or how many times do you think they hear complaints about someone using their channel to do inappropriate things? Or this comes out about that person, or this comes out about that person. How many times? A lot, right? So what they're doing is they're trying to eliminate that. They're trying to be like, okay, so and so just made this channel, and this channel doesn't have no videos, but yet this channel has been known to troll people in the comment section by saying, "Oh, you suck at this! Ha 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 ha! Oh, you're a baby! Ha ha ha!" They're saying, "Okay, no more. We're not going to deal with that. You're out of here." That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to destroy their own site because they know YouTube, Daily Motion, Vimo, BitChute, VHO, Twitch, they all know that if they were to do exactly what people are fearing, that it would cause so much trouble and so much litigation, as they would call it, that they would basically be shutting themselves down and putting themselves out of business. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And again, let's go back to what I talked about. Let's go back to what I talked about. Okay? Let's go back to what I talked about. Let's go back to what I talked about. The article. Some people have pointed out. Yeah, I'll get into that in a moment. But some people have pointed out. Some people have pointed out, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, some people have pointed out on Twitter and Facebook and all social media that the article seems to be suspicious. Like it's only focusing on that main area and nothing else. Like it's stitched together. And I can understand that there are some people nowadays, and I don't blame them, that want video uploading sites like Dailymotion, YouTube, BitChute, Twitch, and all that to go back to the way things were, to where you are allowed to upload the content without any problem, without any copyright IDs, without any restrictions. You were able to do what you wanted. But it's not that way anymore. It's not, and I hate to say this, it's not 13 to 14 years ago. It's not even 10 years ago. This is 2019. In 2019, we're going into 2020. Things change with time. Things change with time. I mean, another example I always go back to is My Little Pony, if you will. Do you think honestly that My Little Pony Friendship is Magic would have lasted as long as it did if its popularity didn't cause it to change with the times? Do you think it would have lasted? No. But because of its popularity, it lasted and it grew not just with its audience, but it grew with the times. That's what it did. Like I said, it grew with its audience. That's what it did. And that's what a lot of these streaming platforms, video uploading platforms and sites are doing. Whether we like it or we don't, YouTube, Dailymotion, BitChute, Vimeo, Vio, Twitch, whatever you use, Mixer, whatever you want to use, they're all changing with the times. You might go out and say, oh, I'm going to join Mixer because it's better than Dailymotion or it's better than YouTube. You might come out and say that thinking you got freedom, or you might say, I'm going to choose BitChute over Dailymotion and YouTube. You might say that because you feel you're going to get more freedom, but in the end, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is the same thing. BitChute, Mixer are eventually going to change, and they're going to change in the same way YouTube and Dailymotion have changed. And we may not like that. We may not, but that's the truth. That is the absolute truth. So before we all go out there and cry a foul or say the YouTube and Dailymotion and video uploading apocalypse is upon us, let's calm down and look at this from a more bigger picture, not just from what people are fearing, and not just because people want to get these sites back to the way they were. Because I guarantee you this. If some of these people that are making a big deal out of nothing, well, it is something, but well, it really isn't nothing. It is something, but still, making a big deal out of something that may not affect them, because a lot of people are saying it has to deal with what has happened recently, and these sites want to make sure it doesn't happen again. The thing is, before we all go cry about the video uploading apocalypse, let's take time to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is this is to make sure that people like us, either we make money off our channels or we don't make money off our channels, don't get trolled anymore. We don't have incidents like the so-called LPs, the LP incident, and we know who I'm talking about. Or YouTube and Twitch and BitChute and Mixer and all of them don't end up getting complaints about cyberbullying and trolling, every day, just about every day, because that's exactly what happens. Truth is, the truth is, this is to help decrease that. Now, are these video uploading sites going to get a lot of backlash for going in these directions? Absolutely. And they know that. And they know they're going to get backlash. And they know they got to come up possibly with an alternative or give a more simpler explanation, because a lot of people are taking what's been reported out of context, and they don't need to do that. So my honest opinion is, give it to God, give him prayer, and ask him to make sure something like what you fear will not happen, because I guarantee you it won't. And if it does, then somebody is not telling the truth at any of these sites. But the thing is, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. So I thought I'd just talk. So that's the first thing I want to talk about, and that was my dog back in the background. She was yawning a little bit. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. For the first topic. The second topic I want to talk about is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. I've talked about it before, but the thing is, I haven't really talked about it much lately. I haven't really talked about it much lately. And what I want to talk about, and Lord forgive me for doing this. God forgive me, in your name I pray, amen. But let's talk about how you upload videos or you stream live content on your various video platforms, whether it's YouTube, Dailymotion, wherever, Mixer, Twitch. Let's let's talk about that for a second, okay? You see, a lot of us probably live on our own, do our own thing, have our own schedule, and that's fine. We don't have to worry about anything happening. The thing that might interrupt us is, and that was my dog, she just yawned again. The only thing that might interrupt us is life itself, like work, um, going to a movie, stuff like that. Excuse me. Hi, folks. Be right with you. Sorry, folks. Just checking my dog again. Apparently, something spooked her, so I do apologize for that. We have neighbors in the back of us over here that have a lot of cars, and apparently they're working on them, and some of the noises are spooking my dog. Like, she doesn't know what they could be. She doesn't know if it's fireworks or something. Anyway, guys, like I said, I wanted to talk about talk about this real quickly. Um, about video uploading through your various video platforms, whatever which ones you may use. And basically what I want to talk about, well, what I was getting at before I had to go see what was going on. Basically, a lot of us, like I said, have lives of our own. We live on our own. We have our own schedule. The only thing that might interrupt us is, life itself, like work or checking up on our animals, making sure they're taken care of, stuff like that. And other things like going to movies if we feel like it, or just spending time with family, stuff like that. But usually we have our own schedule. However, that's not the case. Sometimes when you do live with family, whether it's you and your family living with family, or it's just maybe you and your cousin, or you and your sibling, or you and your niece or your nephew living with a parent or a grandparent, things are a little bit more different. If a little things are a little bit more different than what they seem. Let me explain. You see, when I first got on the YTs on YouTube originally back in 2006, I got on it around its infancy time, basically when it was just coming into its own. And I lived on my own for a bit, so I had a chance to, be able to do videos whenever I wanted. Yes, I worked, there's no doubt about that, but I still had a chance to do videos. I was in between jobs actually at the time, but I was still able to do some videos here and there. I think at the time when I first discovered YouTube, I just started working at Home Depot as a custodian or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, as I've mentioned before, that channel got taken down because, again, YouTube was in its infancy and the people running it at the time didn't know what they were getting themselves into legally. And you can't blame the original founders of YouTube for that. Now, fast forward about later on in that year, I created my second account, which lasted until about the summer of 2008. And again, thanks to thanks to various reasons, either it was because of my nephew, my oldest nephew at that time, and he was about, see, what was he, 13, I think. 13. Wow, it's unbelievable. It's 11 years later, and he's 24. Go figure. Anyway, or 10 years. Yeah, it's 11 years later. He's 24. Anyway, what I'm getting at is whether it was him because he was rebelling, he was angry at me, I don't know what, or whether or not it was the YT itself, I don't know. But that channel was gone. But it was through that channel that I did some videos from between the ending of 2006 all the way up till my last day in Kansas in November of 2007. And I continued utilizing this channel even when I got, or utilizing that channel even when I got back, or even when I officially moved out here. The point is, the point is, when I was on that channel for a while, I was able to do videos. In fact, I have what's known as classic 2006, 2005, 2007 videos here on my channel that show you that those are videos I was able to do in my living room without any interruption. Now, the reason I bring this up is because of the fact that if you live with family, whether it's yourself Like I said, whether it's your family living with family, whether it's you and your cousin, you and your niece, you and your nephew, you and one of your siblings, it's a little bit more difficult because of the fact that you got to work around that. You got to work around that scheduling. You got to work around, well, not that scheduling. What I should say is you got to work around the scheduling you have with family. Let me explain. You see, I'm pretty sure Wild Hops and anybody else that watched the premiere earlier this morning of the 36, the 36 slash season finale of DCWA Women of Honor, episode 36, that is, episode 36 slash season finale of Women of Honor. You might have noticed that there seemed to be some kind of interruptions, like all of a sudden here comes the pause screen or something like that. That's because last night I was called upon. I wouldn't say constantly, but I would say I was called upon and asked asked by my mom about if okay, how do I word this? Last night my mom was on the phone with my sister, my second older sister, because she likes to call her every other day, whether it's Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday. Now, my second older sister has made the effort to try to at least call her a little earlier now because my mom's getting older. Well, long story short, my mom has a new phone. I got her this phone because I kind of screwed up on her old one. Long story short on that is I pretty much figured that I could get the same phone. Well, not the same phone, but I can get her a phone that's a little cheaper but nicer, and it would work. That didn't happen because apparently, even though it could say it's powered by one provider, in actuality, it's just powered by that provider's towers, and it's not associated with them in any shape, form or fashion otherwise. So after all this hoopla and all that, going through various hoops, finally got my mom a phone. It's a good phone, cost me a bit of money, but you know what? She's worth it. So anyway, my mom is having a bit of problems with apparently the network, my sister's network, because my sister, she okay. Long story short, she she's on the same provider as my sister. My sister helped her out a little bit, get on the same provider. Now, anyway, long story short, she's having problems with the internet. When she goes on the road, mobile rides, she has problems with the internet. She can't get the internet in. You know what I'm saying? She can't. I mean, it comes in, but it doesn't come in as strong as it should. So my older sister, who's been with the service a lot longer than my mom, has an idea of what's going on and basically tells her, okay, because Brian upgraded you to this phone from the other phone, you got more features. Because you see, her other phone was just a small kind of put. It was kind of like, I wouldn't say it was like this. What's the best example I can give? Hold on for a sec, guys. Sorry about that. But anyway, the best example I can give on size wise is this. This is how big basically the phone was. Kind of like this. It's basically about this size. So she ends up going from that size to essentially something just a bit bigger. Like this, it may not be as big as what she has, but you kind of get the idea. Like this is the new phone, this is the old phone. And the old phone, it didn't have much on it. I mean, yeah, you had YouTube, and I think, like I said, you had YouTube, and I think, honestly, you might have had ability for Facebook or something like that, but she mostly used it for Google, searching the internet, YouTube, checking her texts, and that's about it. She didn't use it much for Facebook, if at all, or her emails. This new one gives her that ability. And because she has these features, my sister has told her, because she's been with the provider that my mom's on a lot longer than my mom, that my mom needs to get on a new internet plan. Or basically, she can help get her onto the plan that she and her family's on to hopefully, save her a lot of money. Now, Now, the reason I bring this all up is because, as I mentioned with my CAW thing, and you might have noticed like the pause menus at times, or even that long 8-minute thing going into that promo with that, um, I guess you could say that diva like character, the Crocs character. I can't think of her name right now. I have to look again. But if you know, you might have noticed that 8-minute long stretch going into the promo angle, I should say. Anyway, like I said, I think it was lacrosse, I think, I don't know. But anything going into that promo, that little angle with Desert Flower, my which is an original CAW of mine. Original CAW of mine is Desert Flower. But anyway, you might have noticed that there was like an 8-minute long wait. It's like, what's going on? Did it freeze? Did it get stuck? No. What happened is I was with my mom and my sister, and we were kind of working things out, trying to figure things out. Because I understand where my sister's coming from, I really do. But I think what I was trying to get across to my sister is the fact that, even though the plan might provide better coverage internet wise, it doesn't matter if you're going to be in an area that's really going to slow it down. And yes, my sister did acknowledge that yeah, there is going to be interruptions, but not as much. But what I'm trying to get at is, what if you're in an area where you don't get no coverage at all? I mean, I have what's known as straight talk, and a lot of people sometimes like straight talk over. Yeah, that's who it was. The crowd. Thank you, Wild. Yeah, that might have been the case. But anyway, but anyway, anyway, what was? Oh yeah, basically, what I'm trying to get at, or what I was trying to explain, is yes, the internet plan may provide better coverage, but it's not going to matter if you're in an area and all of a sudden you'll get cut off, because my mom has to go through what's known as the Altamont here in California to get to her job, and sometimes that will interrupt service. How do I know this? Well, even though I don't travel on the Altamont to get to my work, there's a certain section on Highway 33 when I go on the bus that when you get towards it, cuts you completely off. It's like as soon as you get into Patterson, as soon as you leave Newman, go towards Crow's Landing and then into Patterson, there's two certain sections, mostly one toward as you're getting into Patterson, that cuts you off completely for a brief period. And I have straight talk, and a lot of people like straight talk, believe it or not, over T-Mobile, over AT&T, over Verizon, not just because it does give you plans if you want them, various plans, but it also gives you pay by minutes kind of deal. In other words, $35 gives you wait gives you what? $35 gives you what? Um, what is it? 3 gigs. 45 gives you 25, and 55 gives you unlimited, which I currently have thanks to my mom. But anyway, long story short, long story short, I have Straight Talk, and even though it's a strong provider, it's proven that at times I can go into areas like I say, when we're going into Patterson, there's an area just as soon as we're approaching it, I should say, approaching going into Patterson, that basically cuts off service completely. And these are being powered by the same towers that power the T-Mobile, the AT&T, and the Verizon networks, mostly the T-Mobile ones. So basically, again, long story short, basically, um, I'm being interrupted. And that's what that's what I was trying to get across to my sister, that yes, your internet plan coverage that you want to get for our mom might be better, but it's not still going to end any interruption. It may decrease the limitation of interruptions, but if she gets into an area where there's hills on the side, like on with the Altamont at times, there's a good chance she's going to get interrupted. But let's hope that whatever this plan is prevents that from happening. So I know this has been I know this is probably one of the long. This is probably going to be the longer of all the topics. But anyway, like I said, let's just hope that prevents it from happening. Just checking on something there. But like I said, let's just hope and pray that prevents any interruption from happening and does decrease it. But getting back to the point as to why I'm talking about this, when it comes to uploading videos and you live with family of any kind, whether, like I said, it's your family living with family, whether it's you and your cousin, you and your niece, you and your nephew, you and your siblings, if you live with family, it gets a lot harder to do videos because you got to work around the scheduling to where you could do it without being interrupted. That's why sometimes people will just use their camcorder or the camera on the laptop or computer to do the videos. The reason being is because if they get interrupted, they can pause it, and then when they feel they got time to restart where they left off, they can restart. Even if they have to watch the video portion of the first, even if they have to watch the first part of the video they did to kind of know where they left off. But they could start from that perspective. Oh yeah, I'll get into that in a moment. Don't worry. But anyway, what was I getting at? Oh yeah, you have to go back and watch the video that you just did to see where you left off so you can continue. And that's the thing with family. You got to work around a certain schedule. Me, me on one hand, I have a schedule that yeah, I have to work, but sometimes the schedule works for me in a sense that allows me to, if I take the bus and I don't have to, and I get to my job at 8:17 in the morning, and I don't have to start till 9 or 9:15 or 9:30, you know what I get to do? I take this phone, and I could do a video possibly during that time and then upload it while I work. Same with during lunch. If I have enough time after I eat lunch, I'll go and do a video. That way I provide content and I have time to myself. Now, I have time to myself to do it. Now you might say, well, Brian, we've noticed when you do those outdoor videos, you kind of stop, pause, and then restart the video. What's going on? Oh, restart the recording. What's going on? Okay. About that. That's another thing too when you're uploading content. When you're doing it outside, make sure you do it either in your backyard or you make sure you do it in a place like a park and you look around, make sure nobody's around, and then do your video. Because if you're walking around and you're doing the video, that's not a problem. That's not a people. Not people, but that's not a problem, I should say. People may question you about it. Like I had one lady while I was watching the doors at work, because sometimes they have me watch the doors if they don't have enough customer hosts and all that, or greeters. They have us cashiers watch the doors. So I was watching the door one day, and a lady was asking me why I did this. And I had to tell her, and Lord forgive me for saying it this way, but I had to tell her, oh, I was just checking my phone, just checking what was on there. That's all. Making sure it worked. Because here's the thing, some people don't understand why you do it. Some people don't. And that's okay. That's fine. The point is though, what I'm getting at is the reason I pause at times, especially when I'm walking and doing the video, which again isn't a big deal, which isn't a real big problem. The reason I do it, folks, is because I've had numerous times, and you've probably heard this in the back of some of my videos. I've had numerous times where people will interrupt my video, and they'll do it on purpose. And I'm just checking something here, folks. But like I said, they will do it on purpose. They will do it on purpose. I've had people drive in the car and literally honk the horn or yell out while I'm doing a video, all because they want to be jerks or trolls or whatever. Or they want to think, oh, if I get my voice on YouTube, people will know who I am. That's why sometimes I pause when I hear a car approaching, because I don't take that chance. I don't. Now, the way I structure my scheduling sometimes is like this. About a week ago, going on a week now, I should say. Actually, it's been about 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, it's been about over a week ago. After the situation with NXT invading SmackDown, basically jump-starting this invasion thing for Survivor Series, and making SmackDown from about a week ago the best SmackDown of the year so far, I did not a live stream, but I did an on camera with my headset on and everything, on camera video via my laptop. And I did this at a time when my mom was asleep on the couch. And that's the only time you have. That's the only time sometimes to do stuff if you live with family, is you gotta wait till some of them are asleep so you have peace and quiet, especially if your room is somewhere else in the house. Now, you might now when I did my live reaction of to when I did my live reaction to the Little Mermaid live, I actually did that while my mom was on the phone with my second oldest sister talking about it as well. The point is, you gotta find ways to structure around, your family, and especially, especially this goes if you're live streaming, because if you're live streaming and you have family there, and family, with all due respect and love, may not quite understand what you're doing and why you can't really leave the premise at that time, it's best that you just video capture it. And if you have a video capture device like what I have the AGPTEK, the JPEG, the AGPTEK video capture thing. If you have something like that, best suggestion is just video capture it and then upload the video and then premiere it, and then use the premiere feature on whatever platform you have to premiere it at a time you want, so it feels like you're doing it live and you can interact with people like you're streaming live, like what I'm doing now. It makes more sense and it causes less hassle. Like I said, it makes more sense and it causes less hassle. Now, what that's so my advice is to do that. That's my advice. Now, now, On to another topic. And I know people don't like to get political, but I'm not going to make this long. But we all know about the impeachment inquiries going on. And I don't know much about politics, but I do know that when impeachment gets talked about, that's not usually a good thing for whoever is your leader or your president at that time. And we all know that the big one right now is about Trump. Now you might say, you might be, now you probably watch what's going on or hear what's going on. You ask yourself, what's the, what's it going to matter since the election is next year? It's not. It shouldn't matter since the election's so close. You know what's it going to matter? Again, I don't know much about politics, but I'm going to say this: what an impeachment inquiry or an impeachment in general does for Trump is it basically gets him out of the running. Because once you're impeached, I don't think, honestly, and again, I don't know much about politics, but I think once you're impeached, you cannot you cannot run for president again. You can't run for president. You can't run for president. You can't, you know, you can't do anything. You're done. Basically, impeachment throws you out. And I know a lot of people that are Trump supporters. And my mom is right about one thing. God has a reason for putting Trump in the White House. He has a reasoning. He has a reason. And that reason is the fact, in my mom's opinion, and I totally, and I kind of agree with her on this. I do. We may not like some of the things he decides on, but we do agree that he is the kind of president that when he says he's going to do something, it may take him a bit, but he does do it. He does follow through on what he's going to do. Anyway, long story short, long topic short. I don't think, well, long topic short, I should say, this whole impeachment inquiry, again, I know some people may not feel it makes any sense since the election's not that far off and Trump's already campaigning to be reelected. But what it does do, if it goes through and it gets to the point where impeachment does happen, then Trump, for all his campaigning to be reelected and everything's going to be for naught because his campaigning to be reelected, his reelection campaign will be brought to a stop because again, I think impeachment basically causes you to have to step out of the race, basically walk away. And I know, how people that come up and they bring up subjects like, oh, I'll bring up reasonings as to why this is happening. Some people will say, like my family at times says that, looks at Trump being there for a reason. They look at the fact that Trump is there, but the reason people don't like Trump being there is, like I mentioned, he's the kind of president and leader that says what he's going to do and he does it whether you like it or not. He's giving basically tough love. This is giving his version of tough love, and people may or may not like that. Another reason people may say that the impeachment inquiry is happening is there are those in the Democratic House that are still bitter at the fact that Trump basically beat Hillary Clinton and they wanted Clinton instead of him. They're still pissed about that. They're still pissed about that. And, you can't, and honestly, I guess you can't blame them, but a lot of people will look at the impeachment inquiries and the reasonings to get Trump out of there and all that, and his decision making and all that, as way, and all the various decisions and stuff he's made, all the meetups with other leaders and stuff like that, even stuff he did, even stuff that occurred before he was president. You know, people will find various reasons to try to get him out of office. With this whistleblower and stuff like that, it's like seriously, if you wanted to get him out of office, why didn't you do this long ago and not so close to election time? I think that's what's really bothering people. It's like, why even go through this when you're so close to election time and he's already campaigning to be reelected. Again, my thought process, and like I said, I'm not an expert in politics. My thought process is the fact that if this goes through, if it goes through, that all it's going to do is cause Trump to basically be impeached and thus cause him to have to step away from the election and let someone else go on to win and become the next president. That's about it. That's all it really is. Or all it's really going to cause to happen, in my opinion. So, again, I'm not an expert. I'm just giving my opinion. That's it. Now, let's talk about something that a few people want me to talk about, and that is Disney Plus. Yes, Disney Plus will debut this Tuesday here in the States, Canada, Netherlands, and other parts of the world. Now, there are other parts of the world, though, that won't see the debut of Disney Plus until next year. That's around March of 2020. And I know some of them are upset, and I don't blame you. But I think Disney wants to make sure that the places that get it first, they want to make sure that there are no glitches, no bugs, so that when they roll it out to you guys, you will have it right off the bat. Now, it has been announced that if you have a Verizon account through Physio or Verizon's FOS, if you will, or not FOS, through Verizon's FIOS, that's what it is, the Physio or FIOS system or service, that you're going to get Disney Plus for free. And you guys are lucky with that. But Disney Plus is going to start. It's going to be a 7-day trial. So I've already signed up for it. And the 7-day trial will begin, get this, not at midnight, which a lot of people suspected would happen because I think that's what occurred with Toon Disney when it debuted back in the late 90s. No, it's not going to be like that. Instead, it's going to begin at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. So that's 7 a.m. Mountain, 8 a.m. Central. And if you live in Hawaii and Alaska, I think it's about 5 a.m. and Hawaii is 4 a.m. I know it sounds kind of crazy with all those times. But yeah, that's when Disney Plus will debut. At 4 a.m. Hawaiian time, 5 a.m. Alaskan time, 6 a.m. Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. And I guarantee you, the YT, the DM, Twitter, Facebook, Vimo, VO, BitChute, Twitch, everybody's going to be talking about it. Everybody's going to give their own thoughts and speculations and reviews and reactions to it. Everybody's going to be talking about it. Everybody from Andre Meadows of Black Nerd Comedy to probably Joe Vargas of the Angry Joe Show to maybe Channel Awesome to Cinemassacre. Everybody's going to be talking about it. John Campa is going to be talking about it, I should say. So everybody's going to be talking about it. And I guarantee you, it's going to be the number one trend for the next week. Maybe for 24 to 48 hours, but for that time it will be for 2 days at least, 2 maybe 3 days, the number one trend. But the question is, will it be a success? And I think it will be. I think Disney Plus will be a success because this is what fans have been wanting. You see, they look at all these outlets, and I have Netflix and I have Hulu. Okay? I have both. So I might be able to get Disney Plus, through Hulu as well, but I don't think so. I already got it coming with the service and all that. I have a PS4, I have a Roku, I have an Xbox, so I'm pretty much set. I have my phone, of course, so I'm pretty much set. But the question again is, will it be a success? I think it will be. Sorry about that. I thought I heard the door shut. You know, usually that means my mom's gonna be back, and it kind of takes me a bit to, get things straightened up. But anyway, and I say that because I say that because, like I said earlier, you gotta schedule stuff. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, like I was saying, will it be a success? I think it will be, and I think it's just gonna get better over time. I really do. I think it's gonna get better over time, and you know, I understand that there are some decisions that, some decisions, excuse me, there are some decisions that were made over this past week that don't sit well with a lot of people. A lot of people feel like, why would you make this decision when you could easily just say, easily put a warning up about what in said movie, or even maybe give an option to where people could watch it uncut, or they don't have to watch it at all, or they could watch it edited. You know, there are some decisions that were made this past week that didn't sit well with people, like Song of the South. It's not going to be on Disney Plus. The Crows from Dumbo, gone, and some other things as well, but not as major. Not getting the major backlash that those decisions are getting. So yeah, Disney Plus I think is going to succeed, but some of the decisions they've made already and probably will make in the future are not going to sit well with people, because people would look at something like Disney Plus as being that one platform where you could be like, well, wait a minute, this should be a good enough platform to put Song of the South, uncut, or Dumbo uncut. It's a streaming service. But you forget this is Disney we're talking about. Disney is family friendly. Now you might say, family friendly? They now own The Simpsons. They now own Family Guy. What are you talking about? Hold up. Yeah, The Simpsons and Family Guy seem to be very, very controversial additions. But what they're doing with Family Guy and Simpsons is completely understandable. Simpsons is on Disney Plus because despite what it's done over the past 30 years, some of the episodes and stuff is very family friendly, is kind of PG-13. It's Avengers like, so it's passable. PG-13. So, like I said, it's passable. That's the way I look at it. Um, what else? As far as Family Guy goes, that's not PG-13. That's PG or PG-13. That's 14. So that's going to end up on Hulu and Freeform, no doubt. It'll still remain on Fox Television because of licensing reasons. But, long story short, um, it's gonna, as far as like other cable outlets go, it's gonna go from FX to Freeform and Hulu, and that's it. Simpsons, they're controversial at times, but they find a way around that. They really do. Now, hold on for a second. Now, again, is it going to be a success? Yes, it's only going to grow and become a fine. It's going to be like a fine wine. It's going to grow over time. It's going to get better over time. So yeah, I think it's going to be a success. I think the more additions and of content that they get from the Disney overall library, whether it's Disney's main library, the Star Wars subset, Star Wars library, Marvel, National Geographic, you name it. It's just going to get better over time. And there are some shows that I'm surprised they're not on here, but I got a feeling will be in the future. Welcome to Pooh Corner, I think, is going to show up soon. Dumbo Circus is going to show up soon. Mouse Size, the original 80s Mouse Size, I think, is going to show up. So I think a lot of those shows, even Mousepiece Theater, is going to show up. I really do. So to me, that's what. So to me, Disney Plus, I think, is going to be worth it. Am I going to go the bundle and get ESPN and ESPN Plus and Hulu Plus? I don't have to do that since I already have them. Well, I have ESPN, but I don't have ESPN Plus. But still, I don't really have to do that right now because I'm cool. I already have it. I already have ESPN, so I'm good with that. Disney Plus is the main focus for me. Now, you might say, um, now you might think, well, how are you going to be able to capture any footage with this if you want to talk about it? Well, I think this opens the door as well. You see, the one thing that Ruco devices have is the option to do audio and video, AV, not just HDMI, but AV output. And since I have a DVD box, DVD recorder, I should say, I should be able to, and this possibly an if and a should be able to hook that up, get Disney Plus on there, and then maybe record some of my shows on the DVD. Who knows? The other thing I look at this as well is the fact that this is kind of like a dream come true for a lot of Disney animation fans because now you can create what we now you can relive not only the Disney afternoon the way you remember it when it first started, but you could also customize and make your own ultimate Disney afternoon and how you feel the Disney afternoon would have looked like if it had continued into the 2000s. Because I guarantee you, a lot of people look at a show like Kim Possible and they're like, "Yeah, that's Disney Afternoon. That's Disney Afternoon written all over it." So anyway, though, that's all I'm gonna say on Disney Plus. I'm hoping a lot of you get it. I know Wild Hops, you might get it because it's gonna have Zootopia. So there you go. So there you go. But yeah, I am gonna get Disney Plus, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really great. Now, on to the next subject. And Wild Hops, I know you've been wanting me to talk about this. I know you've been wanting me to talk about this, Wild Hops, and anybody else has been wanting me to talk about this. And that is WWE 2K20. Now, currently, I have 2K19. I'm still playing that. I have yet to get 2K20. I may get it this week, all depending. But the one thing that has really gotten on 2K, that's really been, really put 2K20 in the news. In fact, Angry Joe talked about it in one of his in one of his AGSA news videos, one of his AJSA news videos, was the glitches and how bad it's been. I mean, the fact that Visual Concepts decided, Ukes, we don't need you for this one, we got it. A lot of people are putting the blame on Visual Concepts for doing that. And now Visual Concepts and 2K have to come out and basically make up for the mistakes by patching in various patches almost every week or every other week or something like that to fix this catastrophe that's been caused by basically what people consider an early release of a game that was not complete or not finished. And honestly, let's be honest, folks. This is not the first time 2K has done this with their games. You know, ever since they acquired the WWE license, they've done this before. 2K, I think 2K 18, 17, and 16 and 15 are all good examples. I think 18 or 17, one of them was probably the most recent example of this happening before the patches fixed it up. one of the things people have noticed is there are certain things that are missing. Certain things like create a championship. Hopefully, that's going to be taken care of in the next patch. Some have noticed that certain arenas are not being updated or are missing as well. Hopefully, that'll be taken care of as well. But the big glaring issue is the characters themselves and how they look. I mean, we all seen the famous Becky Lynch uh, glitch, and then we've all seen the character spinning around the ring glitch. We've seen all that. And these shouldn't happen. I mean, yes, you will get glitches in a game when it first comes out. Doesn't matter if it's 2K19. You know, it doesn't matter if it's 2K19. It doesn't matter if it's, let me see here. Which one do I have on hand? Hold on for a sec, folks. Here we go. It doesn't matter if it's Call of Duty, World War II, maybe even the new Call of Duty, which honestly I saw a bit of Angry Joe's review on that, and you could definitely tell that there are some glitches. I'm surprised he didn't mention it. There was one part of the review that showed a glitch, so I'm surprised he didn't talk about that. You got Overwatch, which is now on the Switch, Nintendo Switch that is. You have Overwatch that no doubt had glitches when it first came out. You know, you have a variety of games that have glitches when they first come out and they need to be patched up. They really do. Yeah, and that's a good suggestion, Wild Hops. Make your roster, but wait before but wait for the glitches to fix things up. And again, we don't now. Here's the thing about about the patches that are going to come in for the glitches to be fixed. We don't know how many it's going to take. You know, for all we know, it's going to take maybe 4, 5, or 6 patches to just say, yeah, here you go, boom, 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 boom. But here's the thing about the patches is too. I don't know if maybe fans are just doing this because they want the game to be fixed immediately. But some fans are saying that the patches may fix things, but they also make things worse. Like there's an image of Bret Hart's hair going up like this, like an Elvis kind of deal. So yeah, the glitches again. It's not again a game that when it's released is not going to be released perfectly. It's going to have its glitches. Everybody knows that. I know the new Modern Warfare game, probably, again, like I mentioned, you watch Angry Joe's review of that, it has glitches in it. Like I said, there's a part in his review that shows there's a glitch. The thing is, nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing will be perfect. Okay? You know, are we going to get perfect games all the time? No, we're not. We're not. That's not possible. I mean, Smash Brothers Ultimate probably had some glitches, and you think these patches or these software updates are to, you know, update, what you're going to get in the game, and from spirits to costumes to new fighters? No, it's not. They're not just there to do that. They're there to patch up any glitches, as small as they might be, bugs, if you will, as small as they might be, that are there. So it's not. So again, it's not the first time a game is going to come out all glitchy and all that. It's not the first time, but I will agree that this is probably the worst any sports game, sports entertainment, sports related game. Um, this is the worst. You know, any sports game or sports related game has been when it comes to glitches upon debuting. Heck, I've made the suggestion, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree, that if you're going to do a game, why not follow the motif that a game like Injustice 2 followed, or Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11 have followed? And you know what those motifs or examples are, I should say? You know what those are? Bring the game out. If it's got glitches, patch up any glitches, put up the patch or update that needs to fix it, but then just continuously update it with DLC. That way, it gives you enough time to work on the next addition to the game. Why do you think sometimes it takes a couple of years before the next Injustice or Mortal Kombat game to come out? Because of the fact it's because of the fact that what they're doing in between is they're giving you additional DLC to keep you busy. Why do you think Injustice gave us some new characters um, a year after Injustice 2, I should say, gave us new characters a year after it debuted? Why do you think they did that? Because of the fact that they did it not only to expand and show that the game still means something, the game is still important and relevant to them, but they did it because it keeps us busy. It gives us something new to do with the game, but it also gives them time to work on the next installment. And that's what a lot of people look at WWE 2K as, at 2K doing with the WWE series. Go that route to where you where you can release the game, patch it up if it has any glitches, do your DLC, but as time goes on, just continue to add more DLC, superstars, arenas, championships, you name it. And not only does it make the game feel more fresh and new again, but also gives you, the developer, time to work on the new installment and make sure there's no glitches or anything like that. So yeah, WWE 2K20, I do plan to get it, but I will admit it's probably glitched up game to the worst case of glitched up games to debut. Um, Basically unfinished or in a hurry or something like that. But basically, it is the worst case. I will put it that way. It's basically what I'm trying to get at. It is basically the worst example of releasing a game without checking for the bugs and the glitches before you do. Now, with that said, now that we're off that topic, we got one more to talk about here. And what we're going to talk about here, excuse me for a second. Just checking something again, folks. Sorry about that. But again, what I want to talk about, the last thing I want to talk about here, the last thing I want to talk about is Scoob. Yep, Scoob, the new Scooby Doo animated theatrical film, released a couple of online images. I'll probably do another video later on about it. But they did a couple of online images um, earlier this week. We saw some images before leaked online, but we didn't get the full cast. But this time we did. And quite frankly, I have to say the characters look very good. The characters look extremely good. Some people have questioned Fred's attire and why his look is a little bit more different than everybody else's. Well, there's a reason why Fred's design looks different. Why he doesn't have much of an ascot. He doesn't have his ascot, but he does have a little bit of orange trim, like right here on the collar portion of his white T-shirt. So he has that. But the reason Fred looks the way he does is he's voiced by Zac Efron, right? And out of all the celebrities that they got to voice the characters here, as much as I hate to say it, as much as I hate to say it, Zac Efron is the most notable. Okay, he's the most notable. Remember, Zac Efron was recently Shazam in Shazam. So it makes sense that maybe what you're trying to do is put a hybrid blend in facial features where you could see a bit of Fred, but you also see a bit of Zac Efron. That's why he looks the way he does. It's basically a hybrid of Fred's original look and Zac Efron's look. That's why Fred looks the way he does. Like I said, that's why Fred looks the way he does. He's basically his facial features is that of a blend, like I said, of his original cartoon look and Zac Efron's look. That's why he looks the way he does. But some people have also looked at the group image in front of the mystery machine. And some people have kind of pinpointed certain other things about these images. And as much as I hate to say it, and I'll probably go into more detail if I do a separate video, but it looks like Warner Brothers and the people behind this movie, they might be listening to the fans. Hear me out. Because when I look at the group image, it's almost like, and maybe I'm wrong about this, it's almost like they're teasing swapping romances. Hear me out. In that group shot in front of the mystery machine, they have Velma looking up at Fred, kind of like there's something going on, like there's something there between them. But we don't know that. Usually Fred's associated with Daphne. But then, where's Daphne? She's right next to Shaggy. Shaggy's next to Velma, Daphne's next to Shaggy. Okay, could that mean something? We don't know. But here's the thing. Scoob is going to tell the origin of how Mystery Inc. got together. It's going to set up the Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe, the HBCU, if you will. Like I said, Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe for the YT capture option here. HBCU. It's going to set that up. But the one thing about origins and all that, or retellings and reboots, is sometimes they like to switch things up. And I would not put it past whoever's behind writing this story if they decide, hey, let's do Shaggy and Daphne as a couple, like fans have been saying they should be, and let's try Velma and Fred. Makes sense. But again, that's just people going off images they see. But again, that's just people going off images that they see on the web, on these images. They don't know exactly if that's going to happen or not. One thing Andre Meadows did point out is it looks like we might get a nod to pup named Scooby Doo with a flashback as to when Shaggy and Scooby were kids, kid and a pup. But we'll have to wait and see. But it looks interesting. It looks really good. I'm just hoping it doesn't flop. I don't think it will because people love Scooby. So I think it's going to be okay. Will it be the start of the cinematic universe for Hanna-Barbera? Right now, that's the plan. But then again, The Mummy with Tom Cruise was the plan, and that flopped. But much to Universal's credit, they're still going forward with the Dark Universe because the next one up is The Invisible Man. They already got a trailer out for that. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm definitely looking forward to Scoob. And again, the designs I think are okay. And like I said, the reason Fred looks the way he does facially? Is it the blend of the original animated Fred look and a blend of Zac Efron's look? So that's basically why. So anyway, though, guys, that's I'll probably do again another video on it later. But again, guys, that's about it. Thank you all for watching this live Topics on My Mind. I do apologize, as I said in the description, for any stream interruptions or any stream break-ins where it's like I'm talking about something and all of a sudden it goes, "Goop," and then I just talk about something and now I'm still talking about it, but it's about a second later or something. But then all of a sudden it goes a second later or whatever. But I do apologize for any breakups, any interruptions, or break-ins, whatever. But thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on each of the topics I just brought up here. Comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have had to say. Thank you all thank you all thank you all for tuning in. And just to answer one more question. What do I plan to watch when Disney Plus debuts? Well, I do work that day, so I'm not going to really have much time to watch it right off the bat. But I will say that the one show I am going to watch right off the bat with no issues whatsoever, hopefully no issues, is Rescue Rangers episode Double O Chipmunk, and then Bonkers episode Casa Bonkers, or even the pilot. One of those. But it will be one of those two shows. And if they have it available, I will watch, or at least try to watch, Kim Possible Graduation. So there you go. There you go. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. And again, thank you all for watching live. Thank you for all those in the chat for coming in and giving me your thoughts and even trying to ask me a few questions to answer here. Thank you all for watching live. Again, let me know what your thoughts on each and every topic I've talked about here are. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section of those topics. And I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care. I am out.